Hello, everyone. This is Caroline with Expat Interviews, and I get so excited every time I get to talk to someone from the Caribbean, especially that has gone abroad and made an exciting, fabulous, thriving life for themselves. It just makes my heart feel so good. And today I am blessed to be with Yanique, who is living her best life, her Parisian best life. Welcome, my sister. Welcome. So nice to be able to talk with you. You know, I get excited. So tell us about your journey. I know you're from Jamaica, but you are just, wow, we're going to talk about the amazing things that you're doing in Paris. But where are you from originally in Jamaica?
Thank you so much, Carolyn, for having me. Thank you so much. I'm from Annotto Bay, St. Mary, Jamaica, which is the northeastern part of Jamaica. It is the most beautiful part.
Of course.
I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay. And you've been living in France, in Paris, for how long?
So I've been in Paris for 14 years. I moved to Paris from New York, actually. So I left Jamaica when I was around 17. I got a scholarship and I'd go back and forth between Jamaica and the US. And then I actually met my then husband while living in New York, and we decided to move to Paris. So that happened.
Wow. Had you ever been to Europe before or Europe?
But not at all. I've never even growing up in Jamaica, I never actually thought about even leaving my small little village. Um, I didn't necessarily like have a set plan for what I wanted to do with my life. I think things just started to happen. At some point, I realized that the first big change for me that made me realize that I at some point have to leave my parish, my or even my country was as a teenager, I started to think, well, I want to go to the University of the West Indies. I would love to go to university. And I remember having a conversation with my mom, and she was like, well, I can't afford it. And so my other friends were also applying to the University of the West Indies, but they were applying to schools abroad as well. And I was like, how are you guys? Where's all this money coming from? And they're like, well, you could try for a scholarship. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I tried for a few scholarships, and I got one that was pretty much a full scholarship, and I just went to that university in Virginia, and it was amazing experience.
Yeah, that what you said, I love that you said that a lot of people, who are in their little town, the little village, oftentimes we don't think about, oh, I could never go to Europe, or I don't see
Right.
myself living in another country. And wow, I mean, now in 2021, I mean, the world is your oyster, I think. So okay, so you moved to Paris. Did you speak any French? Because I know when I lived in Jamaica, they taught us different languages. We were required to speak different languages. That was like a requirement. Did you speak any French when you moved there?
I did not. I did not. And like I met my French husband in New York, but we always spoke in English. So, like I didn't we never even when we lived together here in Paris, we never spoke to each other in French. So I learned French on the job here, and became fluent after a year and a half.
No kidding. That's
For real.
awesome. Wow. And I feel embarrassed because I took several years of French and I'm so rusty. Well, I guess because I don't practice with anyone, and
Yeah, don't
it's good.
feel don't feel
Yeah,
embarrassed. It's different when you're immersed in it and you live in it, and
it's
you
true.
and you
It's
also
true.
have to like talk about your body in French, and you don't want your husband to talk to your gynecologist. You know what I mean? It's like
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
So I know that for a Black woman, the culture in in France, you know, it's very welcoming for the most part. I mean, it's not like maybe going to other cultures where they're a little bit taken aback. We're like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? I mean, was the transition easy for you?
As a Black woman, I would say no. I'd say that for many years, I just pretty much couldn't understand the image that and this is not for everyone, but this is obviously just a general statement, but I couldn't understand the image that the French had towards Black women and specific Black women. I have the features and the characteristics of a Senegalese Black women. And you know, like Senegalese women are beautiful, they're very tall, they have this very strong forehead. However, I realized that a lot of French also would have this negative connotation towards Senegalese women that just really, really bothered me because we were hypersexualized or are hypersexualized on a daily, and it's become less and so now over the years, but in the beginning it was sort of understanding this as a mentality of the French, and then see things change. Like it's literally changed a bit over the years. But I think, you know, when it comes to my skin color, there's definitely racism here. I think it's different from the racism that we experienced in the US or anywhere else, but it is still here.
Okay. And I mean, obviously, it hasn't stopped you from living a wonderful and thriving life
No.
there. You just kind of you just kind of deal with it, I guess. Are there a lot of, is there community among, I know there's a lot of Africans and different mixed races there. Is there a community? Can you say, yes, you know, they kind of stick together like, you know, maybe Asians
For
do or other
sure.
cultures?
For sure. So this is an interesting conversation because I had this exact conversation with one of my best friends last weekend. She is Franco-Beninoise, which means she was born here in France. Her parents are diplomats from Benin, but she grew up in Brazil and grew up in the US. And we were having a conversation about the French Africans, let's say, and I just wanted to have an understanding, like, okay, obviously we have like Senegalese, we have people from Benin, the Congo. Because I did not grow up also with the French African knowledge, I don't know like who is who and how certain people are perceived by each other, by other countries and so forth. So this is probably something for another conversation, but there are definitely communities here. Some countries or cultures are more supportive than others. But overall, I would have to say that the structure of camaraderie and support is quite strong in Paris if you're an Afro descendant.
That's good to know. And I also wanted to touch briefly on the fact that you have a wonderful meetup culture going on there in Paris, monthly meetups. I do meetups also, but yours, I was looking at one of the videos and it just looks like so much fun. People are just really enjoying themselves. And Paris is a big coffee culture. You've done that for how many years now, the meetups?
Oh, wow. I think I started the blog 12 years ago, and the meetups I think I started 6 years ago. And the idea was really simple. It's to bring people together. It doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, black, white, or whatever. As long as you're new to Paris and you want a space where you can speak English, but also learn French or speak French and make friends, you know. I found it very difficult when I moved here to actually make friends. And I was very sad, and I said, you know what? I don't want anyone else to have to go through this. Like, I remember going to the movie theater and thinking, oh my goodness, I wish I had more friends to come to the movies with me. And I was like, well, I'll just create a group. And so this is how the meetup started.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What is the cost of living like there? A lot of people probably are interested to know that. Is it relative?
It varies. It varies. I think having been used to New York, I would say it's similar to New York prices. Like we were living in Manhattan, and then we moved to Staten Island, but we had a house in Staten Island. So um, I'd say I don't even remember how many square meters, but like right now I live in Montmartre. And, a lot of the apartments here where I live in Montmartre for a one bedroom will run you around 1,000 euros. But it can also go up depending on how close you are to like the monuments, such as Sacré-Cœur, or if you're in a super trendy neighborhood, or if you're more on like the dingy side of town, or if you're just at the border. It really depends. But, I think if you're coming from a big city such as New York, the prices are similar. If you're coming from somewhere else where, Paris is a big metropolitan city that's very much in demand. So it's all about money.
Sure. Why should we come to Paris? Why?
I often say that it is a gift to yourself. It is a gift to yourself to give yourself the experience of coming to Paris. Obviously, you can go wherever you want. I think for me, Paris has given me this understanding of slowing down, an appreciation even more so of my family life and how to balance being a like someone who has a professional life, but also just a life outside of that, because the French do not play when it comes to like vacations and holidays, and just like the joie de vivre is real. And this is also why, you know, um, my blog started. I started off just taking photos of what I would eat at lunchtime, because I found it mind blowing that we had the opportunity to have the time to have these amazing meals at lunch. And the companies also give us these things which are called like ticket restaurant, which are kind of like vouchers. So your meal is actually even paid for by your company. And I would just flip out every time at lunchtime, and my coworkers were like, you need to just do something with those photos.
And that's how your blog was born. That's very
So that's how
cool.
it started. Yeah.
And I know that you've inspired a lot of people to even not so much for living, but just to travel and get to know that beautiful
Come to
city.
Paris. I think it's also one of those places where if you love history, if you love art, if you love fashion, if you love food, or if you think you know everything about yourself, come to Paris. You'll discover so much more about yourself. It's really a vibe.
Okay. I see that. And lastly, I always ask everyone, there are people who may be watching that they're getting to know you, but they've never traveled before. They're really considering it. This might be the year that many people are deciding to make a transition in their life, to just go somewhere and be somewhere else. What words of advice would you give for someone who has never traveled before?
I would definitely say first and foremost, do an internal questioning. This is very important. Try and envision this is probably going to sound a bit too spiritual. I hope not, but try and envision yourself in the middle of a road and having to take and close your eyes and having to take two directions, right? And think about, okay, where you are right now and where you would like to be. Once you start to go on both roads, you envision the feelings that you would like to have on both roads. After you've done both roads, open up a third road, something that you've never thought about, and see how you feel about that. And then start to think about, okay, what environment would be the best for me to either visit or to live based on how I felt the best on either of those three roads, right? Because for me, I think having the opportunity to travel it's a soul's journey. It's really about what your soul wants. And obviously, like, Instagram makes everywhere look good. Like Bali looks good, Paris looks good, Madrid looks good. Girl, like, I'm gonna tell you, everywhere looks good. But Paris not maybe for everyone. Madrid maybe not be for everyone. Bali may not be for everyone. Like, really go in first, and then everything, I promise you, everything else will fall into place if you take the first step based on how good you feel on either one of those roads.
I love that. Or like Martin Luther King Jr. said, take the first step. That's the
Mm.
that's the main thing. So Yanique, I'm so excited we had a chance to talk with you. We are going to get a hold of you by going to the gram. How do we connect with you?
So you can connect with me in many ways. The best way to connect with me is via Instagram. I am My Parisian Life on Instagram. On Facebook, I am My Parisian Life blog. On the website, it's myparisianlife.com. And from those, you'll get to my sister sites. I also plan events here in Paris. I have Elope in Paris that also has its website and it's on Instagram. I'm posting more videos now to YouTube, so go on over to the YouTube. Super excited to show you guys around Paris. 2021 is going to be full of just wonderful videos of me showing you guys Paris.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Can't wait to see them. Thank you so much, Yanique. This has been such an honor.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
It is for me also. And we look forward to Paris this year, 2021. This is the year for Paris, I'm sure.
Let's make it happen. On va le faire, as we say in French. We will make it.
C'est la vie, bonjour.
C'est la vie, bonjour.
Bye-bye.